Gotham Season 3, Episode 13, Smile Like You Mean It. I thought this was a really good episode. Jerome actually did come back to life. That was really sweet. He's a great character. Um, it was just chaos. We have the character Dwight who wants to bring back Jerome and it's failing and he's like, crap, he's not waking up. So he cuts his face off and for a minute he does actually rally the people behind him because at first they boo him and he's like, I'm Jerome and you guys are Jerome as well. We're all Jerome. I was like, man, you really pulled that one off. I was very surprised by that. And I love the way they did his character in this episode because he goes through and he's like the sort of ipso facto leader of these people at this point. Like, of course, his idea was to kind of step down once Jerome came along and they would all follow behind him. But it's like, well, that failed, so I gotta do something because I don't want to be booed. And he takes over, and the way they talk about his character being just a crappy version, I loved it. And my favorite part was definitely when he was on the phone with Jim, and he's repeating the lines. He's like, you're just saying the same stuff that Jerome said to me last year. And he was like, but you are doing one thing that Jerome never did, and that's bore me. And he hung up on it. I was like, man, I like how this guy is just trying to do everything he can to be Jerome. And it's just not working. Like, even the main people that should have an issue with him is just like, whatever. Like, you're not that big of a deal. You're just kind of, you're a serious issue for sure. You got a woman strapped with grenades and stuff. That's an issue, but you're still nothing compared to this absolute maniac. And I just love how they kind of play with that idea where he was so self-conscious, even more so than before, because he was just like, we're going to get to this point, and then for him that point never came because he thought he didn't, resurrect Jerome. So then it was just like, I guess I'll take over, and he was, you could tell just the whole time he wasn't sure, even when he first showed up, and looks really weird with like, the Jerome mask on, and he's like breathing really heavy and he's freaking out and stuff, but he, like I said, I was surprised that he turned it around because you could hear that he was so nervous just from how hard he was breathing when he first came down the stairs, and everybody was cheering, and then was just like, what the heck is this? So I like the way they did that as they, kind of went along with the episode and showing almost his descent a little bit. And then, of course, he dies at the end of the episode because Jerome ties him up to, the middle of like just an explosive just bouquet of death. And so he's toast, like he's gone, and of course Jerome is Jerome, and he does his little thing on the air, and he's like, oh, I'm not, I don't actually forgive you for the whole face thing, and he takes off and he leaves him to die. But I really loved it. I love the way they did that. Jerome coming back when he was talking with Lee and stuff, I thought was really good. It was very interesting in this episode. I don't know if the actor was doing it or how it was, but with him in the bandages, he really sounded like Heath Ledger to me. It was very weird listening to it. I was like, he almost sounds exactly like him from The Dark Knight. And he didn't sound like that to me before. And then it did change a little bit when it got to the end. When he wasn't in the bandages, he sounded different. And I was like, man, maybe that's just his actual voice. Like, maybe he's changing it a little bit. But I was like, his voice was almost like identical to me, to Heath Ledger when he was talking, when he had his face messed up. Which was also great. I think I mentioned this before when they showed in the promo, but they had him bandaged up, and then, how he looks with his face all messed up. Great references to the comic stories and stuff like that where he takes his own face off and all that stuff. So I love the way they did that. I thought it was really well done references. And then we have our other two storylines in this episode, one being focused on Selena still and her mother. And we find out that her mother was never in any sort of trouble. By the end, basically, she was just an a-hole. She came back and was like, oh, we can totally trick my daughter's boyfriend to give us $200,000, and then we just leave. No biggie. I didn't care about my daughter at all. I mean, she did happen to save him, but she didn't actually care. The only reason she came back was to get money, and they were going to take off. And it's just like, man, she sucks. Like, that's just a crappy person. And then Selena goes to Bruce, and she was super pissed off at him. And I always kind of hate this in TV where people say, I kind of guessed, but I didn't know. And then when someone gets mad and they say, did you know? And they're just like, yes. And I was like, well, if you answered if you really thought you knew, you would have said yes the first time. You would have been like, if you thought and you didn't know, that's what you felt. Like, you don't have to say yes because somebody's mad. I always hate when that happens in TV shows where somebody's like, I expected it, but I wasn't sure. And then people are still mad. It's like, did you know? And they're just like, yes, I knew. And it's like, obviously not, because you wouldn't have said, I thought I knew, but not really. You wouldn't have said that the first time. That's just me. I just always get annoyed by that, where if you're in the middle, it's genuinely because you didn't freaking know. Like, you're not a mind reader. You didn't know what she was up to. You may have guessed right, but you didn't know. It was just like, I could be right about this. I could be wrong. But how do you bring something like that up? I was going to say, I'm pretty sure your mom's lying to you. Like, that's not going to work. But Selena's mad at him, and it was really funny, too. When she hit him, it was like, all right, he changed into like full Batman mode. He was like, all right, you got that hit in, but I'm supposed to be Batman. I'm not about to take no hits. And he was like dodging everything like that. And I just thought it was really funny that he took like that first slap and was like, all right, that's it. I'm done. And he was just dodging and catching everything else. And I just thought it was funny. But I like that story. It was a fairly simple one. They didn't focus too much on it because there wasn't much to show in this episode. I'm sure there's going to be more because her mom hasn't left yet. So I'm sure we'll see more of that storyline in the upcoming episodes. And maybe, who knows, it might be a surprising focus in the next episode considering everything's so chaotic with, people just running around going nuts. It might actually end up getting a big focus considering who Selena's character is, where she comes from the streets. That just might happen to focus on her a lot, and with her mother still being in town, she has to be in there, in some way, shape, or form. So I feel like that's how that might end up playing out. But the other storyline that we had with Penguin, that was great. I love that he's going nuts. There wasn't a huge focus on it, but they took some big steps with the small focuses that they had. He goes to the bar to talk with Barbara, and she's like, yeah, I called a meeting, but hey, nobody showed up. What can I say? And so that's when he starts flipping out. He's like, you really think that happened? And of course the phone call comes in, and the guy's like, yeah, we don't follow you and stuff. We find out that, it was Barbara and Tabitha just, playing their cards. Tabitha kills the dude, and then they're at the bar later on, and it's like, we could just talk to them and stuff, and, Tabitha's like, boring. So they go with plan B, and she just wipes everybody out. And like I said, they don't focus on it too much, but I just loved what they did with it. It was going along very well, very fast paced, of course, because, small little snippets. And it's fun watching Penguin go crazy. Like, honestly, it sucks that it's happening to him, but he did kind of bring it on himself. Out of sheer jealousy, so it is his own fault. He made his own bed, so he has to lie in it now. But I love the way that it's going, and they're just stringing him along, and they put the final piece of the puzzle in there where Ed calls him, and he's like, I don't have much time, and it's like, oh, location. So I don't know, with the whole city falling apart, it's really hard to tell where any of these storylines are actually going to go, because it's going to be so chaotic that the chaos is going to have to be the main focus of the episode. I'm assuming the whole episode is going to take place throughout the night too, which would actually be really sweet. But I enjoyed this one. Like, I like what it had in this episode, and I love what it's leading up to, especially with the ending where Jerome blows like all the power to the city. What we have with Penguin kind of reaching his tipping point. He's like, attack this person and attack that person. I'll tear the whole city apart to find Ed. So, I really enjoyed what they had in the episode, and I'm really excited for what they're, leading into for the next couple episodes. It won't, all end in the next one, obviously, but that was really well done. Of course, I would love to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts. These favorite parts are, and I want to know what you guys think is going to happen with Jerome. Everybody was a bit upset when he first died off, because it was like, this dude is like an excellent, possible young Joker. And now that he's back, are they going to keep him, or are they going to kill him off again? Is he going to be gone by the end of this episode? Are they going to save him and he just goes to Arkham Asylum? Because I think that's a great way to do it, just like with Barnes. That's an easy way to do it with anyone, honestly. It's like, well, we didn't kill him. Arkham Asylum's right here. We need him in for an episode or two. Boom. Plain and simple. So I'm hoping they don't kill him off, just so that there's the possibility that he could break out, as all characters do from Arkham. But I'm hoping that he doesn't die. I personally, it's really hard to tell, because this could just be a cool special thing where it's like, we just brought him back for 2 episodes just because he's such a fan favorite character for the show. Or it could be something that they're leading into for the future where he does become a permanent character, or at least a recurring character, if not, a main cast member. So I'm hoping that he doesn't die, but honestly, with the way the show plays with its characters, it's really hard to say when a character has died and come back. Kind of like with Gallivan, same sort of thing. He didn't stay in there nearly as long as I thought. Like, he got resurrected, and that didn't last nearly as long as I thought it was going to. So it was just like, alright, that was really cool. And granted, that was basically like, he died and then he came right back. It was very fast. This was a bit different. It was very spread out. So it's hard for me to say, but I would love to know your guesses on whether or not you think they're going to kill him off again, or just send him off to Arkham. But we'd love to know that, as well as what you guys thought about the episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.